streaming again, and this is our final shot with the emerged and steel deck, this time featuring red and green once again, but this time the deck has been suffered a few modifications. We had Dashwatch Recruiter, alright, and Reclamation Sage is going to make an appearance, and 2 copies out of Eldritch Evolution, and 1 copy of Conclave Naturalist, and I let go the Flame Shadow Conjuring. Also, we are running 1 copy of Nissa's Renewal, Green Warden of Murasa, Explosive Vegetation, 2 copies from Beyond, and 1 copy of Nissa's Pilgrimage. The idea is that last time we tried, the mana that we had at our disposal was not enough, because if the opponent is not playing big creatures, then we are not going to be able to emerge after we steal. Therefore, we are trying to ramp much more in this version of the deck. Also, since Kaladesh came out, there are a lot of very useful cheap creatures, so it's very likely that we are going to be finding the opponents playing creatures very small in mana costs. Therefore, the stealing strategy is not going to work that well. The better the creature the opponent plays, the best for our deck, but let's see what happens. So also Kaladesh promotes the use of too many artifacts, therefore we are going to be running the artifact removal tools in the form of creatures that destroy artifacts when they enter the battlefield. So let's go ahead and see. Single land is not going to cut it, therefore we have to mulligan. We now have 2 lands, and these 2 creatures can fetch more lands for us, provided they die. We have 1 of the Eldritch Evolution, so might be a good idea. Now our second copy, pretty good. Then we have options for next turn. We can play the Dashwatch Recruiter right away, or 1 of the Primal Druid. So apparently the opponent runs zombie deck. This is a very powerful 2-drop, but enters the battlefield tapped. So now I'm going to drop 1 of the Primal Druids, so she can block the Shambling Ghoul. We want to delay as much as possible the game, so we get our lands to steal and emerge. This is emerge cost of 8. So if we steal the opposing creature for 3, we are going to need a lot of mana to actually emerge, but Eldritch Evolution is just 3. Another zombie, this one is a flyer, so much more difficult for us to block, so the opponent does not attack with the Shambling Ghoul. Now here I think getting our second Primal Druid is proper play, because the Dashwatch Recruiter is quite unlikely to get flipped, and we can later maybe use it to find better creatures for us, and now we can use the Evolving Wilds to find our second green. Then we can use the Eldritch Evolution to find another creature. This one costs 2 Eldritch Evolution. We sacrifice the 2 mana costs, and we get to search for a creature that is up to 4 mana cost to put right in the battlefield. So the opponent now has the Infernal Scarring. If we get to steal the Scrapskin Drake, it's going to be quite nice for us. because if we sacrifice it, we get to draw, but apparently it's not going to happen so soon. Um, so if we reach evolution, maybe we can find Nissa. We get 2 lands out of the deal. I think it's kind of good. So here, yes, let's drop a mountain there. And let's see, what are our options here? Maybe the Hunger Garrison or the Reclamation Sage. Quite of cool choices here. I think Nissa still is the best one here because we get to draw another card and ramp a little bit, proceed to attack. Well, not actually ramp, but we stay on our curve. Now we are going to get hit, and probably the opponent can deal with Nissa somehow. Let's see if that's the case. Opponent drops 2 creature cards into the graveyard because the Crowd of Dark Tidings did attacked. So if we draw something to steal, it will be quite powerful now. So, but it wasn't that. So what to do here? Mockery of Nature. So let's play the Switch Recruiter here, and we are pretty dangerous low in our life total. So activating the Switch Recruiter, I think we can wait to play this other Primal Druid, and here let's just skip the attack. The opponent can't attack in the air for 6. That's pretty dangerous for us, so let's hope that we get our Act of Treason soon. Let's see. Opponent attacking with the flyers. We take 6. And we are about to die unless we can do something somehow. Opponent played a creature, therefore the Deathwatch Recruiter is not going to transform. Now let's get the Hunger Garrison out. So we can steal with the Eldrazi Obligator, but if we pay the cost, we can't use the Eldritch Evolution because this is 5. Now 3. If we discount here 3, we have to pay 5 to play the Mockery of Nature. So I think the only way to be safe here is to emerge. So we might want to emerge the Primal Druid here. Emerge. And we are going to destroy the Infernal Scarring. That gives us another turn, maybe, provided the opponent cannot pump up his other guys. Let's drop another forest. Decent enough. Now proceed to Nissa is about to die, I think. Maybe getting the token is good. Let's hope it's the right choice here. So We could survive, maybe, depending on the if the opponent has another enchantment like this. We die to the flyer attacks, but otherwise he's going to take care of Nisa and Rancid Rats. This one we cannot block, so it's very dangerous for us because it has Skulk. Fair enough, we get our Nisa is gone. So we have 7 lands. Getting another emerge creature could be good for our Eldrazi Obligator. So let's say we steal something with this. We have to pay 5. That leaves us with 2, and therefore this will cost 6. Not good enough. Is there something that we can do? Is there something in the graveyard? No. So let's steal, I don't know. Alright, this flyer. Do we want to pay? Yes, that's ours. And can we? I think we can't. So let's just attack with everything and see what happens here. This one blocks d5. This one blocks here. Yeah. So 2 cheap creatures for our liking, and this dies out of Death Touch, and the opponent is going to recover the Drake. So nice try, but we couldn't do it. So an act of treasons will have changed everything. So let's go ahead and try this one again. So perhaps instead of getting the token with Nisa, if we have drawn, we might have got a little bit closer to the card that saves us. So that next time we know that it should probably have been done that way. Also, perhaps getting rid of the enchantment sooner would have let us stay longer in the game. So lots of different options that we could have done there. If we could play again against the same player, it would be interesting to play around his stuff. So here the opponent running a quite huge deck, and we're going to have a nice opener with Evolutionary Leap for on our second turn, probably, depending on our next card. Not bad. So let's go ahead. Green 84 plus 6, almost 100 cards, 90 cards. What is our opponent up to? We are going to find out. Green and white, and the Sylvan Advocate. 2 mana is too small for our liking. Let's hope the opponent gets more lands. And the Evolutionary Leap, at least it's a very nice outlet for the steal effects. So here we are going to, let's see, let's start by getting the evolutionary leap out. So we need another green mana to play the blister pot and sacrifice it to the evolutionary leap. Nimbus wings, so and black mana. Quite interesting play from our opponent. Let's hope he commits more enchantments into this, and by the turn, in a couple of turns, we can steal this guy. So let's get the blister pot out. Evolving wilds too. So continue. We're going to get another forest. So 3, 4. This is 4, and we have to wait yet another turn. Let's hope that the opponent cannot kill us before we get enough mana to play. So Gideon is going to spawn now. He got +1/+1. It becomes a 5/5 creature, but he's not able to attack this turn because he has Summoning Sickness. Nothing to be very worried about yet. So I'm going to wait for another turn, hoping that the opponent overcommits to the Sylvan Advocate. Skip the attack. This is going to block Gideon, and then we sacrifice the Blister Pod to get another creature. We might even get the Mockery of Nature out. Tamiya's Journal. So let's see this one. Now he got the emblem. Interesting. But this means that we can get rid of Gideon next turn. So maybe it was the plan of the opponent all along. So please give me your Sylvan Advocate. Very nice. 5/5. We are going to hit face with the Advocate and Gideon with the Blister Pod. Cool, and get rid of the Sylvan Advocate and the Nimbus Wing and draw a card for us. That happens to be a very nice card to have with 2 emerge creatures on our hand, and one of these can destroy the Tamiya's Journal. So if the opponent plays a huge creature, we are set. So opponent can't crack the clue. Perhaps it is better to let the opponent use the Tamiya's Journal to find whatever he wants from the deck. So 3, that means we have to pay 5 to get out the Mockery of Nature. So for the time being we have only 6 lands, and to still using the Eldrazi Obligator costs us 5. That means that it is too expensive to do it just yet. So we are going to skip now and hope that we can survive for a little bit longer. The Tamiya's Journal produces clue in the upkeep of the opponent, and he can use the Tamiya to find any card that he wants. The same Sylvan Advocate that we sacrificed. The opponent draws before. No, I mean he draws after playing his creature. That's not the wisest order. Now we block here and sacrifice the blister pod. Now we have another potential mana source there, and Eat of the Horrid Swarm, a little bit cheap on the emerge for 7. That means that we might not good enough yet. We need another land still. Let's see, is it worth it for us to steal the... No, I think this is the only card that we currently have to steal, but also we could make a change of emerge, perhaps. Nah, let's pass the turn here, and let's hope the opponent doesn't run anything too scary. So he has the Hissing Quagmire, a bit problematic for us, and the Golden Wild Mysteries to get even more clues if we kill his creatures. A Fertile Thicket. Let's see if the opponent decided to use... No, he decided not to use the ability. Where is it? The stack of lands is quite annoying, so he activated the Quagmire, but he had not enough mana to attack with it. Possibility. And yeah, that's it. There we go. So we're getting close to what we want. Let's see if the opponent decides to search Faith Unbroken. It's going to... So we are going to sacrifice this. But yes, we lost one of our blockers, and that's sad. Faith Unbroken exiles one of our creatures. Now the opponent yet again did the activation of the Hissing Quagmire and decided to attack with everything. And since we do not have Fox here, we are pretty much dead. Let's sacrifice the Deathwatch Recruiter. And there we go. Oh, so sad, because we had too much cards, too many nice cards, and we still lost. So come on, do not give up hopes. Let's try once more. Let's just make just one tiny change here. So one of the problems is that the Eldrazi Obligator that we keep seeing showing up is too expensive for our purpose, so we're going to cut loose on one of it, and let's bring in something more interesting for us, such as a, let's say, a Vessel of Volatility. Alright, weird one, but this has ramp written all over the place. So let's see just if that makes our plays a little bit better. But well, of course we are running a single copy of that, so it shouldn't change that much what we do. So that enchantment, you can see that as a storage. You can store up to 2 mana in that vessel. Also, it transforms your mana in red mana. So not exactly what we want for our green emerge creatures, but maybe it enables us to do our plays. And of course, we need the opponent to play big creatures that will help us, but as we in the previous game, the the opponents, the most expensive creatures they played were for 3 that hinders our plans, but it's quite understandable that at this point in the time the players do not want to spend too much mana in the creatures because there are way too many ways to deal with big creatures. So uh, my recommendation to all the players is to do not run large creatures unless you somehow can keep them. So this could be quite nice if we got more green, but I think it is still a nice hand. We let's hope we get some green lands soon. Single green allows us to play Primal Druid, therefore we can, after that we get to play all our other cards. So opponent using the Evolving Wilds, it is a good sign for us because this points towards more expensive creatures. So blue, and let's see what else. Well, blue and these card effects, the Dwarf Infiltrator, so he can use this card to generate tokens. Uh, so we could, maybe later we could try to steal the Infiltrator, hit, draw this card, maybe pay 2. Don't know if that's going to happen, but so far, since we are not showing the opponent what we are attempting to do, probably he doesn't know what we are doing. Maybe we don't know what we are trying to do. Let's see, the opponent gets to draw. Is he going to discard and get a token? Yeah, what? Oh, so very nice one to steal for us, provided we get the lands that we need. So I think that what the opponent is trying to do here is to get very expensive creatures into the graveyard and then use the resurrection spells in black to bring them to the battlefield, and he also gets some nice tokens along the way. But if the opponent actually gets this in the battlefield, it's going to be very good for us. So now we block here, and even if the opponent kills, the druid is good for us. Let's see, no place. So what now? I think I'm going to drop one of the Reclamation Sage and just pass the turn. So we can block here. Let's see, the opponent using Telling Time. A very nice card in this deck because he wants to find his juicy cards. So let's see now what he tries to do. The Reclamation Sage cannot block this one because the Skulk prevents our Reclamation Sage from blocking. But at this point maybe we want to block with the Primal Druid and let the opponent do his stuff. We get a land here. That is going to be a forest for sure. So we might get Eldritch Evolution. Brilliant Spectrum. Converge card. He draws 3 and then he has to discard 2. Sire of Stagnation. Oh, alright. And also this one enters the battlefield after the opponent spawns something. So what now? This might help us with the blocks. We have to pay 4 to play this. I think we can safely attack. There we go. Now Blister Pod, and we are going to present the opponent a conundrum, because now he has to deal with our 4/4. So we want to get the Blister Pod killed. Here comes the Necromantic Summons. So it's going to be the Omnath. So this is excellent for us. So Evolutionary Leap. Still we don't get enough mana here. Let's see. Let's try to bluff a little bit. So we get the Omnath out. The opponent doesn't know if we have another land. So let's attack with everyone. We leave this one back. Not entirely sure why. Let's hope the opponent... No, he didn't fall for it. There we go. So now we're going to play the Evolutionary Leap. And let's hope that we get another land. So the opponent can attack with all 3 creatures. Another Rise from the Grave. This one is going to be... Let's see... Desire of Stagnation. Not bad. Now we block the Omnath, of course. We take 3. Good. If we play the Cinderglade, it's not good for us, but we can steal the Sire. What is best for us? If we steal the Omnath, we can play the land. Desire of Stagnation makes us exile 2, but getting rid of Omnath, we get a elemental and we can kill this one. Okay, we are going to lose 2 cards from our library, but I think this... No! What? Alright, look at this. Another time... It has occurred again that the game tapped like my face. Come on, game. So a very difficult deck that we are playing, and the game is not cooperating, choosing to tap the worst possible way. Come on, game. I should have known better. So the Eldrazi Obligator is a broken card. It doesn't work, it's bugged, well, whatever. My fault, of course. So this is kind of boring. Now let's find an actual opponent. So here the opponent was replaced by the AI. Let's see if we can make the deck work. So we had the perfect opponent there for this deck, and I think from all the decks that we can find to fight, that one was the best for us. I'm getting a bit salty about that. So we can play this on 2 if we find a land. So let's go ahead and bring a forest from the library. Next, I think I'm going to drop Wastes and play the Primal Druid. We have the Decimator of the provinces. Hasta la vista, baby, Decimator. So let's go ahead with the Primal Druid. Another green would be nice to have with the Evolutionary Leap. So instead of dropping Nissa, that it was going to be my play, we might play the Evolutionary Leap next to the Evolving Wilds and get moving on. So, alright, Evolutionary Leap. Opponent has 3 red lands. Let's find ourselves. I think getting the red is quite reasonable here. So before that the opponent didn't know what our colors were. Now he probably is kind of interested to see which kind of deck we are trying to make here. So still no plays, quite interesting. So if we play Nissa, we can find a forest, and if we find a forest, we can Evolutionary Leap the Primal Druid. We have Nissa out. The opponent might kill her right away. I think we might make better use out of Nissa later. So I think the opponent can kill Nissa as soon as we play her. So it is better for us to just wait. We have 5 lands, a couple more, and we get Nissa out with instant flip into Planeswalker. Flame Shadow Conjuring, my favorite card, but not on the other side, of course. This one lets the opponent make copies of his cards. Now, okay. I think this is too good to pass out. Let's kill the opponent that chose not to play anything before, and we destroyed his 4 mana enchantment, and I think the opponent is going to be quite sad about that. Black, so maybe the opponent is trying to do the act of treason. It is quite possible that he's trying to do that. Reclamation Sage. Okay, let's attack with the Naturalists. This is one of the nicest looking cards Alright, the opponent is going to attempt to kill them. So this is the counter, but before we lose that, we get to find ourselves another creature, and it's it of the Horrid Swarm. And we are going to play something, of course. Now let's do the Harrison. Now the opponent has to kill this as soon as possible, but it's quite likely that he can. Maybe he steal our Hungry Garrison and he gets the tokens. Twin Bolt. He needs 2 cards to do that. So he should probably do the Twin Bolt, the 2 points of damage to us, then the Firing Impulse gets Spell Mastery. I think the opponent missed that. So a tiny misplay from the opponent's side, but he was too scared of the Kangaroo Garrison, and now I think the From Beyond is a proper play. So we're going to start receiving our tokens. We can even sacrifice the tokens to the Evolutionary Leap, but we have plenty of creatures in our hand. So this has a Act of Treason deck written all over the place. Yes, but this card, I think this is one of the worst cards that you can run in any deck. I do not like this card at all because it's too slow, too expensive, it doesn't do that much. So there we go. Nice. So this is for the that means that we have to pay 3 for the It of the Horrid Swarm. I'm going to play the Evolving Wilds. I'm going to try to steal the other creature here. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to attack with this guy. And well, if we use this, we might see the opponent doing the same that we are doing him, but okay, we already killed his Flame Shadow Conjuring. We are pretty mean by doing so. Therefore, let the opponent steal that one. Nobody is going to be too mad about that. I think we can let the opponent have it. Exquisite Firecraft, not bad. So the reason I'm leaving the Evolving Wilds on play is because the opponent might try to kill Nissa if we just played her, if the opponent has another Fiery Impulse or Twin Bolt. So we play Nissa, we get a forest. Let's risk it. Yes, there we go. Our forest is out. Now we drop it, and okay, Nissa transformed, and we are going to draw. And it is a Primal Druid, quite nice. Primal Druid out. Let's go ahead and attack with one of our insects and see how the opponent responds. A mountain now. Maybe the opponent wants to activate the corpse holder. He can bring back the Hellhound to his hand, and that will be good for us actually. We are ready to have the Decimator. Hasta la vista, baby. So this is 9 in the emerge cost. Oh my, yes, please. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much. 5 mana cost. Priest of the Blood Rite. Not even the demon is going to be able to stop us now. So thank you very much. Hasta la vista, baby. Now even the Primal Druid can attack now. So I forgot to do this, but doesn't matter now. Ah, ha! Alright, attack with everything, even if the opponent wants to kill Nissa after this. I don't mind. Yeah. Yes! We did it. Of course, the opponent did help us there. So let's try once more. Probably the opponent used the wizard to make his deck because that deck generator tool is the one that suggests you to use this corpse holder. Corpse holder. That is a pretty lame card. One toughness, it dies to any kind of attack. The ability costs you 3. It only does 2 attack. Uh, Not good enough. Perhaps with the Flame Shadow Conjuring you get a copy and you can use the token copy to use the effect. Alright, this opponent probably is trying out the energy cards from Kaladesh. White red energy deck. Let's bet on that. Nice looking hand to start with. Provided we get to kill the Primal Druid, we can search for the red mana, so we can act a treason and perhaps we can emerge our It of the Horrid Swarm. Let's see how the opponent plays. Blue land and artifacts. Maybe blue-red artifacts. A difficult match for us because the cards that he wants to play are not going to be so expensive. So here, let's get the Primal Druid out. I was thinking that playing the Daswatch Recruiter with green and red, it's going to make our opponent think that we are running Werewolf, and perhaps that help us with the choices that he. So this one cannot attack alone. The opponent has to play something else. Now our second act treason is good. Daswatch Recruiter comes out, and we pass the turn. So the other side of the Daswatch Recruiter makes our creatures cost 1 less, and I don't think it is going to affect the emerge cost, but it does affect the original cost. Now the opponent has the Tinkerer. It's not a good card, I guess. For 3 you have a 2/3 with flyer as long as you control an artifact. I think there are better drops for you to use. So here I think I'm going to flip the Daswatch Recruiter since playing a second one is not going to do much for us. So let's activate this. The problem is if we find... Oh, right, reclamation sage. So the opponent knows that we have this. That might slow the opponent quite a bit. He has to play 2 cards to flip our Crawling Horde back, or one. This one returns to our hand, but this one costs 4. That's good. But the opponent did not attack with the construct. Evolutionary Leap. Evolutionary Leap. So this turn we are still getting tons of damage, but next we can Act of Treason in combination with the Evolutionary Leap. We can prevent some damage with the Primal Druid. I think those plays are better than another attempt to do Dustwatch Recruiter. So the opponent just with the Flyer. He could have attacked with both, but I think he's worried about some pump-up spell. So here we get another land, another creature. So well, let's get another mountain just in case. So Conclave Naturalist, it's okay. We have too many cards in our hand, but alright, let's... Maybe the opponent has counter spells? Apparently he does not. Now we attack for 2. Let's see if the opponent wants to block. This one lost the flying because we do not have any artifacts. So if we sacrifice, we are going to have to discard something, but it's not the end of the world. And I think we can get rid of one of our Duskwatch. We have to get rid of something else too, and yeah, our second Duskwatch Recruiter or the Blister Pod. I think the Blister Pod is going to be helpful later on. This one is a new card, Gremlins. So the Gremlins gains a buff if the opponent plays an artifact. Another land, that is quite good. So what now? This is 3, this is 4. So we have to pay 3 to play this. If we have to play 3, still not good enough. So I think that the Naturalist is our best choice here. Even the opponent might bring back this to our hand. Alright, let's do that. Yes, destroy that one. So now we have a blocker for the attackers. Even if this gets one single pump up, it's not enough to kill. Well, it is going to be enough to kill the Naturalists, but we kill the Salivating Gremlins too. Another artifact, but we can get rid of this artifact with the Reclamation Sage. I think killing this one is good for us. So the opponent needs a pilot for this one. Now we have the Eldritch Evolution now. Little short on lands to both Act of Treason and Eldritch Evolution. So Blister Pod, we get a token out of the Blister Pod and another creature, Reclamation Sage. Now let's alright, let's Reclamation Sage just for now. Yes, and Lister Pod, we missed the activation of the Evolutionary Leap, but that is a nice setup for the emerge of the Eat of the Horde Storm or the Eldritch Evolution if the opponent kills our Blister Pod. And now we have another 4-drop that we might want to get rid of. Otherwise, we have the Traitorous Instinct. Now let's see. A land. Very good. So, let's try to use the Eldrazi Obligator for once. And the Eldrazi Obligator is going to get killed. So now let's Act of Treason this guy. Now the computer decided to tap 2 greens. Not sure why, because we have so many greens. Right, let's go with this. Go ahead. That's enough for now. So here the opponent kills the Blister Pod, probably. No, Reclamation Sage. And we let it go and get that. So the Eldritch Evolution can be used to find the Warden of Murasa, and then we can recover the Reclamation Sage from our graveyard. Let's see what the opponent tries to do. Now we can steal this and sacrifice it to gain life ourselves. That is so mean. Let's do that. Oh my god, this hand. This is so much love. So, alright, that's the colors that we want to use. Yes, pay. Now we can gain life out of the opponent's artifact. So let's see how the opponent responds. There, let's kill our obligator. Yes, we have another primal druid, and sacrifice the bottle gnomes. We go to 15. That was so mean. I hope I do not find any other player doing what I'm doing to myself, because I would be so mad. Okay, let's see what now. Rogue's Passage. Now we have plenty of lands to do whatever. We might even do both stealings here. We have 7 damage from our side, and this one gives us 2 more, so 9 plus a couple of 4. It's enough to kill the opponent, but he might be running something to stop us. So instead I'm going to play around some instant and try to steal the Separatist Void Mage. Okay, continue playing. So apparently the opponent cannot answer our attacks, so let's see, we can finish the opponent by stealing this other guy. And so he might. It is possible to have bounce spells, flash creatures, instant damage to kill one of our 1/1s, but apparently the opponent had enough. Very understandable if the opponent got mad at our deck. Uh, okay, let's once more, just once more to see if we can do that again. It's nice when things work out. So we kind of depend on what our opponent is doing. Our wins are mostly based on opponents having pretty bad decks, not so much for our brilliant plays. But let's see if we get fun out of it anyways. So how to tell a good deck from a bad deck? Well, there are many cards that a good deck is not going to be running. For instance, that's 2/3 with conditional flying is not good enough. So let's see what the opponent throws. The opponent plays first. We have the explosive vegetation, but no early plays. We have seen that no early plays means that we do lose fast. This is much better. We got to 6, but we have the Vessel of Volatility and the Duskwatch Recruiter. Not too likely that we are going to make the transformation of the Recruiter, but perhaps. So here, let's get a green, because if we eventually play the Vessel of Volatility, we might need extra green. Let's see what the opponent is trying to pull out. So far, another red and no place. That means that it's quite dangerous to drop the Recruiter out there. So I'm going ahead with the Vessel of Volatility. The longer the game, better for us, because if the opponent gets to play more expensive creatures, it's better for our steal and emerge plans. So red and green. Let's hope yes, that was what I was hoping for. The opponent it's going to play a very large creature now. So we're going to play the Recruiter. Opponent probably with 5 lands. If he drops a 5 creature, we can 5. Come on, play something huge. 5 mana creature. You want to do it? Come on, please do it. We have 4. Well, we pay 2 and gain 4. That means that we get 2 extra out of. We get 2 more than we start with, so we're going to be having 5 in total. Act of Treason steals 3, so we are left with 2. Chandra, even if we steal Chandra and she flips, is bad, because when she flips, she goes to the other side. Owner's control. So we do not get the Planeswalker. So she's 3, and probably the opponent can't flip her next turn. So 1 point of damage to us. So wastes. Now this kind of changes everything. Now we have potentially 6. Sandra is going to cost us is a 3 discount, so we have to pay 4. I think we have exactly what we need. But this is a very mathematical deck. So, cracking the vessel of volatility, we're going to be left with 6 total. The act of treason I should have used it before, probably, because that way we can attack with Chandra. So we are missing quite a bunch of damage. So let's do that, and we have to leave up green. So let's act of treason. No, my math was pretty bad there. Oh, my dog. Oh, my dog. I think that I just lost because I'm unable to do proper math. Let's get the garrison for us. So pretty pointless to spend our act of treason and our vessel. So I deserve to lose this game because apparently I cannot do elementary math, but it's really confusing for me, all the stuff that happens. So this is 7. Chandra makes it cost 4. The act of treason is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7, and we had 6. That is quite not enough. Ooh, good lord. So, and the opponent probably has something very powerful to flip to untap Chandra. No, he didn't. Well, another act of treason. So, but we've lost our chance with the Vessel of Volatility. This one is 4 mana. Now I'm very sad. Sorry if you're looking the video. Leave your comments. Please let me know how bad do you think it was for me to do that stupidity. Our opponent using a planeswalker. Quite cool. So 5 with trample, not worth to attack here, or I mean not worth to block. Let's see, opponent is doing that. Yes, no. Well, she's going to wait. A token, and from beyond. Well, this one we could potentially get rid of if we draw into our sweet spots. So now we have 5 lands. If we steal the Grow Crumbler, we could kill Nissa, but we cannot afford to use our emerge guys. Let's see if the opponent is willing to trade his Chandra for our Duskwatch Recruiter. The O1 is blocking the garrison, Hungry Garrison. Chandra might block one of the tokens. No, he trades. Well, fair enough. We at least got rid of this. We could Mockery of Nature over our garrison to kill the From Beyond. But unless the opponent plays a huge creature with haste, it should be not so problematic to have this one token. He can give haste to a smaller creature. It is another one of these. If the opponent has a land, we kind of lose pretty much. This is 5 plus 5 if the opponent has another land. But it was apparently, let's hope, I'm crossing the fingers. Oh, well, fair enough. We deserve to lose here. Now, even worse, this gives counters to these ones. Yeah. So having the mockery of nature out provides us with another blocker. Yeah. All right. I think that I lost because of my misplay. But alright, fair enough. I think this is the last game from this deck for a long time, unless I came up with another idea to improve this this deck. I'm going to try some of the newer cards, and I think uh, I could try to add the blue and the green emerge cards in a single deck with the Act of Treason, but is not so appealing. But the Kaladesh expansion brought up a lot of new cards to steal the cards from the opponent in the blue flavor. Therefore, we might we might come back to the steal and emerge deck, but instead of using the Act of Treason, we might go with the, let's see, with the blue new Kaladeshian cards. Let's see, for instance, we have choose target artifact or creature. You get energy and you may pay an amount of energy equal to that permanence converted mana cost and gain control of it. But this means that we get permanently the control of the target. That is quite important because if we have permanent control of the target, maybe we are not willing to sacrifice it to the emerge. Other card, let's just find it. Where was it? This is not it. This is a very nice instant. I hope to get the copies as soon as possible to play in blue. You get to choose one. You can counter a spell. You may choose new targets for target spell or copy a target instant or sorcery with new targets. This is extremely powerful. Imagine using this confiscation coup or with this extremely powerful spell. You can dramatic reversal twice to tap your creatures again and again. That's incredibly powerful. And but let's see. We can duplicate cards with the Shahili's artistry. We can make 2 copies of a with out of a single sorcery. We get 2 tokens from something that is insanely powerful. The Gearhold lets us play a card from our graveyard. And this one, sure negotiation, exchange control of target artifact you control and target artifact or creature you don't control. So that means that you send over to the opponent something that you don't care some artifact perhaps that is actually hurting you, and you get to steal something from the other side. Therefore, when I get to all the new Kaladesh cards, we are going to see again our green and blue steel and emerge deck. So stay tuned for that. But for the time being, I hope you have enjoyed this gameplay, and don't forget to leave your comments, and see you soon. Sayonara!